Abby Choi, a 28-year-old model and socialite hailing from Hong Kong, captivated many with her stunning looks, achievements, and generous spirit. Her glamorous lifestyle earned her the admiration of friends, family, and fans, yet hidden beneath the facade of her seemingly flawless existence was a harrowing tale. In early 2023, Abby's life was tragically and violently taken by those she held dear. Hey there, welcome to Beautiful Disasters. I'm Kenyatta, the mind behind this channel, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you join me today. In this video, we will be taking a closer look at the heartbreaking case of Abby Choi, a young model and socialite whose life was tragically cut short by those closest to her. Her story is one that will leave you shocked, saddened, and wanting more. So if you're someone who loves a good mystery, a chilling tale, or historical deep dive, then this is a channel for you. Subscribe now to Beautiful Disasters and join me on this journey as we uncover the truth behind some of the most haunting and intriguing stories of our time. I promise you won't be disappointed. Now, let's get into today's story. Abby Choi, born on July 14, 1994, came from a conventional family background. Shortly after her birth, her mother, Chung Yim-fa, divorced Cha's biological father and married Choi Son, who later introduced two younger half-sisters into Choi's life. Chung and Choi went on to create a thriving business empire in construction and mining throughout mainland China. She was also recognized for her philanthropic efforts, co-founding the Palms Charitable organization dedicated to helping stray animals. Choi embarked on her career as an influencer. Although she amassed a considerable following on social media, her prominence in Hong Kong remained relatively understated. As of July 2022, she frequently attended Paris Fashion Week and was featured in several leading magazines including Elle, Harper's Bazaar, and Vogue. With more than 100,000 followers on Instagram, her influence was on the rise. At 18, Choi tied the knot with Alex Kwong, and over the course of their 3-year marriage, they welcomed 2 children before going their separate ways. She then embarked on a new journey with Chris Tam Fong Chun, whose wealthy father, Tam Chu Kwan, was a key player behind the well-known restaurant chain Tam Jai Yunnan Mixian. Although Choi and Tam celebrated a wedding ceremony in 2016, they never completed the legal formalities and went on to have 2 children together. Chris explained that the reason they didn't finalize their marriage was simply due to their busy lives. It was something that kept slipping their minds since 2016. Quite the oversight. Even after their marriage ended in divorce, Abby maintained a close relationship with Alex's family. She went as far as to provide financial support to her ex-in-laws, purchasing an $11 million luxury apartment in the upscale Kadoorie Hill area of Hong Kong. Furthermore, she employed her ex-brother-in-law, Anthony Kwong, as her chauffeur, valuing his loyalty and support. She also assisted him in buying a home. Beneath the facade of their friendly relationship, tensions were quietly brewing. The Kwong family had a troubled past, riddled with financial woes and legal issues. Alex found himself tangled in fraudulent schemes, notably a gold investment scam, while his father, Kwong Kao, a former police officer, had a dubious reputation. Kwong Kao's operation involved convincing jewelry owners to hand over their prized possessions with the promise of selling them, only to disappear after taking the valuables. The estimated worth of the stolen items reached Hong Kong currency of $6,300,000, which is $1,090,000 in US currency, although he has since made full restitution to his victims. Even after the divorce, Abby continued to support the Kwong family. Despite her separation from Kwong, she provided over 10 million Hong Kong dollars in financial aid throughout the years. Abby even purchased a 4-bedroom home in a prestigious neighborhood to house Kwong's family, which would soon become a source of conflict between her and them. She treated them as if they were her own, taking them on vacations even after remarrying. In a written response to inquiries from the Post, Tam, the son of the founder of the well-known restaurant chain Tam Jai Yunnan Mixian, disclosed that he met Choi through her former husband, Alex Kwong Kong-chi, who is a suspect in the ongoing murder investigation. The 2 men were classmates in junior high before they became acquainted with the model. Alex later transferred to another school where he became friends with Abby, and I met her through him. The 3 of us often spent time together, he shared. Tam mentioned that he currently relies on a family trust and rental income after his father, Tam Chiquan, sold the restaurant business and invested in real estate. Mrs. Choi reportedly has a net worth of approximately HKD 100 million, equivalent to about USD 17.2 million, and comes from a wealthy family with business interests in China. Abby was a savvy investor who profited significantly from trading luxury and limited edition watches, each worth millions. She would sell them whenever their value increased, Chang noted. Additionally, Abby and her brother-in-law operated a pancake business. With her career on the rise, she decided to purchase a luxury home in Hong Kong for the former in-laws. Hong Kong is widely regarded as one of the safest cities in the world, boasting a low crime rate overall. While violent crime is infrequent, there are still concerns about petty theft and scams, particularly in busy areas, so it's wise to stay alert. A conflict has arisen over a high-extent apartment located in the Kadoorie housing complex. The property was purchased in the name of Kwong with the full payment completed by October 2019. That same year, he also seemed to have applied for a government-subsidized flat through Hong Kong's home ownership scheme. Here are some insights into the luxury apartment that have emerged in local media. Situated in Cattery Hill, Kowloon Tong, this luxury apartment is in one of Hong Kong's most sought-after neighborhoods, known for housing some of the city's wealthiest families for generations. Notable residents have included the late Arnaldo de Oliveira Sales, former chairman of the Hong Kong Olympic Academy, the late actor Leslie Chung, and singer-actor Andy Lau. The 4-bedroom apartment spans 1,820 square feet and was reportedly acquired for a minimum of HK $70 million, approximately $12 million in 2019, according to local reports. This price includes a HK $3 million stamp duty fee. The 7-year-old unit was recently listed for sale with an asking price of around $67 million on the Midland Realty portal. Paporo Huang is said to have signed the sales contract, making him the legal owner of the property. However, local media claims that it was actually Miss Choi who purchased the unit and made the full payment by October 2019, allegedly to save over HK $7 million in stamp duty. This tax is levied by the government on certain legal documents, typically those involving property transfers. The family has been residing in the apartment without paying rent. To sidestep a significant stamp duty payment, Abby decided to register the property in her ex-father-in-law's name, allowing the Kwong family to reside there without charge. Stamp duty is a tax levied by the government on specific legal documents typically related to property transfers or asset transactions. Eventually, Abby contemplated selling the property as an investment and relocating the Kwong family, but a conflict reportedly arose regarding her plans to sell. A close friend of Abby revealed that her ex-father-in-law allegedly issued a threat stating, "If you dare to sell it, I will kill you," after he discovered she had shown the property to a potential buyer. Legal analysts consulted by local news indicated that Ms. Choi could potentially claim the proceeds from the sale if she could provide proof of purchase and if it was established that Kwong held the property in trust for her. The apartment, featuring an upscale interior, was said to be home to the Kwong family, including Ms. Choi's 2 children with her ex-husband, Alex Kwong. In December 2020, Alex's older brother, Anthony, posted a photo of his first meal in the apartment on social media. In addition to the luxury apartment, the elder Kwong owns a 291 square feet government-subsidized flat at Shongman Court in Kwai Chung. This development opened for applications in May 2019, with selected applicants allowed to purchase flats in November of the same year. Families in Hong Kong with a maximum gross monthly income of HK $66,000 in assets up to HK $1.85 million, or single-person households earning half that amount, qualified to buy such subsidized flats under the city's home ownership scheme. The elder Kwong reportedly acquired the subsidized flat for approximately HK $2.2 million. Questions have arisen regarding how the elder Kwong managed to possess both a luxury apartment and a government-subsidized flat simultaneously. Local media reports indicate that authorities are looking into the situation. So many red flags with this shady family. I get that she was trying to help them out of the kindness of her heart and that he is the father of her children, but it still wasn't good enough for them. Like, what the hell, man? In February 2023, Abby returned to Hong Kong after attending Fashion Week in Paris. On February 21, she was reported missing when she failed to pick up her children from school, a striking deviation from her usual behavior as a dedicated mother. 2 days later, as police delved into her disappearance, they sought to verify information provided by Choi's in-laws. The security footage captured Abby's last known moments, showing her being picked up by her ex-brother-in-law, Anthony Kwong, in a 7-seater vehicle. As the investigation progressed, authorities uncovered that Abby had been taken to a secluded village in Tai Po, where her ex-father-in-law had recently rented a small apartment. According to police, the flat was leased by Kwang Kao Choi's former father-in-law just weeks prior to her disappearance. They also claimed that the ex-husband's family had provided misleading information regarding Choi's whereabouts in the days leading up to her vanishing. On February 24, 2023, law enforcement executed a search warrant at the apartment rented by Kwang Kao, uncovering a scene that was nothing short of nightmarish. Inside the flat, police stumbled upon Choi's purse, identification, and credit card, all of which raised immediate alarms. The apartment had been stripped bare of furniture and draped in plastic sheets, giving it the eerie appearance of a makeshift slaughterhouse. Within the refrigerator, officers found dismembered body parts, including a skull marred by a significant fracture, likely the result of a brutal attack. The grim inventory also included an electric saw, a hammer, protective face shields, black raincoats, various chopping tools, and 2 pots of soup containing human tissue. In one of the cooking pots, a horrifying blend of vegetables, meat, and human remains was discovered, later confirmed through DNA analysis to belong to Abby. Investigators theorized that Abby had been violently killed, dismembered, and potentially subjected to cannibalism by her assailants. Authorities stated that the murder appeared to be premeditated and meticulously orchestrated, as evidenced by the array of tools found at the scene, including a meat grinder, electric saw, and meat cleavers. Choi's ex-brother-in-law, Anthony Kwang, along with his former father-in-law, Kwang Kao, and mother-in-law, Jenny Lee, were taken into custody on Friday. However, Choi's ex-husband, Alex Kwang, was not arrested until Saturday, February 25, when authorities caught him attempting to escape Hong Kong on a speedboat, carrying approximately $64,000 in cash and an additional $510,000 worth of luxury watches. It seems he was well prepared for a lengthy getaway. On Sunday, Anthony Kwang, Kwang Kao, and Alex Kwang faced charges related to Choi's murder after police uncovered a skull, hair, and rib bones in one of the pots taken from the apartment the previous Friday. Jenny Lee was charged with perverting the course of justice for allegedly destroying evidence that could have linked her to Choi's murder. She remains in custody after being denied bail the following Monday. Additionally, a 47-year-old woman, whose identity has not been disclosed, was arrested on Sunday for reportedly assisting Kwang Kao in renting the apartment where the human remains were discovered, as well as securing another apartment to hide Choi's ex-husband from law enforcement. She has not yet been formally charged. Over the weekend, more than 100 officials conducted searches in a cemetery that Choi's ex-father-in-law and brother-in-law visited on the day she disappeared, as well as in the sewage system surrounding Kwang Kao's apartment, but they found no additional human remains. Authorities suspect that Choi was attacked in a blood-stained 7-seater van, which was removed from Kwang Kao's apartment on Sunday. According to the South China Morning Post, the skull had a hole in the back right side, which pathologists believe may have been the cause of her death. Despite the rarity of violent incidents in Hong Kong, there have been a few shocking cases that have left a mark on the city. In 2013, a man committed the horrific act of murdering his parents, with their heads later discovered in refrigerators. Another notorious case from 1999 involved a woman who was kidnapped and tortured by 3 members of an organized crime syndicate before her tragic death. Her skull was ultimately found hidden inside a Hello Kitty doll. These chilling details of her murder sent shockwaves through Hong Kong, a city often celebrated for its safety and low levels of violent crime, prompting a deeper investigation into the circumstances surrounding her tragic demise. In Hong Kong, the law mandates a life sentence for anyone convicted of murder. Previously, the only punishment for murder was the death penalty, which was abolished in 1993, leading to life imprisonment becoming the standard sentence for such crimes. In a related matter, Choi's mother sought a court order to prevent Kwang Kao from selling the property associated with her daughter's murder, aiming to establish that her daughter was the rightful owner of the apartment. A pretrial conference took place on May 8, 2023, where 6 of the 7 suspects in Choi's murder appeared in court. The prosecution disclosed that blood matching Choi's DNA was discovered in her former brother-in-law's car, and over 30 pieces of evidence, including knives, chainsaws, and hammers collected from the village, were set to undergo DNA analysis. By December 2023, Choi's ex-husband and two of her former in-laws faced additional charges for obstructing her burial. In April 2024, Lam and Pun were charged together with conspiracy to assist Alex Kwong in evading justice by fleeing Hong Kong. Choi's failure to register her new marriage to Chris Tam means that her assets will automatically pass to Kwong and their children upon her death. Additionally, Choi's ex-husband is also charged for skipping bail in a 2015 fraud case. This fraud involved an investment scam targeting men on dating apps. A man and a woman stood trial on Monday, February 10, 2025, for allegedly conspiring to obstruct justice following claims that they aided the ex-husband of murdered model Abby Choi Tin-Fung in his escape from Hong Kong. The defendants, 41-year-old Lam Shun, who works in a yacht company, and 29-year-old Poon Hao Yin, who is currently unemployed, entered not guilty pleas to the charges before Magistrate Philip Chan Chi Fai at Kowloon City Court in December. It is claimed that they assisted a man known as Alex in leaving the city without going through the Immigration Department's border control between February 24th and 25th, 2023. Lam was arrested on March 2nd after police uncovered a WeChat group chat that included him, Pone, Alex Kwong, and a Macau resident named Ivy. Upon his arrest, Lam stated, "This case has nothing to do with me. It was Irene Pun who introduced me to this individual, but I ultimately did not lend him the boat." Pun was taken into custody on March 7th while crossing the Shenzhen Bay border control point. The prosecution also presented voice messages from Alex Kwong's phone where a woman discussed an escape plan that involved borrowing a yacht in Hong Kong and switching to another boat once they reached the waters between Hong Kong and Macau. WeChat records further reveal that a yacht company offered HK $30,000 and Lam requested a bank deposit in advance, specifying that cash payments were not accepted. Jenny Lee, Abby Choi's former mother-in-law, has been granted bail of HK $200,000 after over a year in custody while awaiting trial. On Friday, May 17, 2024, Mrs. Justice Judiana Barnes of the High Court approved her release on HK $100,000 in cash bail, with her nephew contributing an equal amount as surety. As part of the conditions, Lee is prohibited from leaving Hong Kong and from contacting any witnesses for the prosecution. Meanwhile, Alex Kwong, along with his father and brother, continues to remain incarcerated. In a written judgment, Deputy District Court Judge David Chung noted that Kwong was married to a housewife at the time he committed theft and is now in custody concerning Choi's murder in 2023. Kwong's attorney argued that his client was under immense pressure, which drove him to engage in a legal scheme to quickly amass wealth. The lawyer explained that Kwong was responsible for his brother's university tuition and living costs in the United States, while his father was retired and his mother, who was bankrupt, faced harassment from creditors. He also mentioned that Kwong has two children, a 10-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter. Choi's failure to register her new marriage to Chris Tam means that her assets will automatically go to Kwong and their children upon her passing. Barrister Albert Luke Waihung has weighed in on the situation, stating that Abby's ex-father-in-law will not inherit her estate, as both he and his eldest son, who served as her chauffeur, have been charged with her murder amid a property dispute. Luke explained, when someone dies unexpectedly without a will, their assets are distributed based on a hierarchy of beneficiaries. This hierarchy prioritizes the spouse, followed by children, parents, siblings, and other dependents. Those eligible must come forward to claim their share. Due to the fact that Choi and her current husband Chris were not legally married, Chris is not entitled to inherit her estate. Luke also pointed out that Kwong's family members will be excluded from the list of beneficiaries because they are suspects in her murder and are believed to have unlawfully obtained her assets. He further mentioned that Abby's ex-father-in-law would not receive the apartment if it can be demonstrated that the deceased was the one who purchased the property and covered all related taxes and management fees. The late Hong Kong model Abby Choi Tin-Fung has left behind a substantial fortune estimated at around HK 300 million, approximately $38.3 million. However, it may take up to 5 years for her estate to be resolved in court and for her 4 children to inherit it, given the potentially complicated legal proceedings involved. According to an insider, Choi's estate includes a luxury apartment valued at HK $73 million, located in the prestigious Kadori Hill area of Ho Man Tin, which she reportedly acquired in her ex-father-in-law's name, Kwang Kao, who was also a suspect in her murder. Additionally, Choi owned another property in Mahan Hill, Lai Chi, Coke, worth about HK $45 million. She is survived by 4 children aged 3, 6, 8, and 10, with the younger 2 being fathered by Tam and the older 2 by her former husband, Alex Kwong, who is 28 years old. Choi's failure to register her marriage to Chris means that her 4 children are set to inherit her estate, valued at approximately HK $300 million. However, an insider revealed that it could take 4 to 5 years for the court to reach a resolution. The heirs will have to wait for the murder case to conclude, which could be prolonged if any parties decide to appeal. Following that, an inquest will determine the cause of Choi's death, leading to the issuance of her death certificate. This entire process is expected to be both lengthy and complicated. While relevant parties can begin applying to the court for a grant of Choi's estate, finalizing the inheritance will take years, pending the outcomes of the murder trial and inquest. Since Choi's children are minors, probate law allows their next of kin to apply to become the estate's trustees, managing the children's share in a trust. This means they are responsible for properly handling the assets on behalf of the children. Poon noted that once all the children turn 18, they can jointly petition the court to dissolve the trust and formally claim their inheritance. In March, Choi's mother, Cho Nyin-fa, took legal action at the High Court to prevent Kwang Kao from selling the HK 73 million flat located on Kaduri Hill, aiming to establish Choi as the rightful beneficial owner of the 1,820 square feet property. According to the city's legal principles, individuals cannot gain from their own misconduct. When asked about Choi's continued close ties with the Kwang family following her divorce from Alex Kwang in 2019, Cheng explained that it was primarily for the well-being of her 2 children. Just shy of 2 weeks before her tragic passing, Choi appeared on the cover of L'Officiel Monaco, a prestigious fashion and luxury lifestyle magazine which celebrated her as a fashion icon, known for her remarkable ability to mix and match outfits, further establishing her reputation as a genuine trendsetter. Abby Choi's story is a heartbreaking tale of a kind-hearted individual who went above and beyond to support her extended family, even when she wasn't obligated to do so. Unfortunately, her ex-in-laws displayed numerous warning signs of their true nature, revealing themselves to be ungrateful and toxic. It infuriates me to think that Abby was willing to provide them with a new home, rent-free, while they continued to show disdain. These children have lost both their mother and father, and the situation has only brought pain. If I were in her position, I would have firmly told them that if they were resistant to moving from one luxury home to another, they could take on the financial responsibility themselves. A restraining order and full custody of the kids would have been necessary, especially considering the father's questionable actions and the lack of support from his parents. It's baffling to realize that Abby and her husband Chris never filed their marriage license after tying the knot in 2016, despite building a family together. They seem to prioritize social media over essential legal matters, which is just mind-boggling. Regardless of the circumstances, Abby did not deserve this fate. Her trusting nature may have been her downfall. My heartfelt condolences go out to her family. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this tragic story in the comments below. The case is still unfolding. Until we meet again, look after yourself and one another, 'cause I love you.